Then we got up through school, and then the war started. So my buddy and I, we wanted to join the service. We wanted to join the Navy.
So how old would you have been then?
So I was 17, and was in the fall of the year. Was in October when we left. We got back in November, and we just had little light coats on. It was nice weather when we left. We thought we were going to be in the Navy. We stole our birth certificates and brought them with us, and we were hitchhiking going to Milwaukee, and we got as far as Pembine that day. We each had $1. We had saved up money. And my buddy, I had to go to school because I milked the cows in the morning and delivered the milk. And I went to school, and he didn't go to school. He went up to the pool hall, and he spent a quarter of his money playing pool. So he only had 75 cents when we left. But we stayed overnight alongside of a ditch, just off the road. And it was pretty cold. And the next day we got to Milwaukee, went in, and I had left a note on the barn door that I'd left home to join the Navy. And so we told them we were going to Milwaukee to join. I should never did that. Probably they wouldn't have caught me. So anyway, they had a friend in Milwaukee, and they called him. Bess and Pete Larson were the man's name. They lived in Kingsford for a while before they moved down there, and so they came over and got us. They called the recruiting station. And so they came down and they bought us tickets to come home. It was $7 to go home on the train from Milwaukee to Iron Mountain. It was $7. And so they bought us each a ticket. And so we got to go on the train, and they left, and we were going to go on the train. And instead of getting on the train, we took our tickets and we cashed the tickets in. We never knew anything. Neither one of us had been out of Iron Mountain. Didn't know anything about traveling, didn't know anything about cities. And so we got through Chicago, and we got as far as Glenview, Kentucky. And we never did get in it, and we were starving to death. And he was ashamed to ask for anything in a store or anything. And in Kentucky, everything closes on Sunday at that time. There was no stores open, no gas stations open, nothing open on Sundays. And so I'd go in the store and I'd ask them if they had any day-old stuff and stuff. And we'd get even buns with nothing, no butter, no nothing. We'd eat. So finally, anyway, we turned around, we were coming home. And the funny part of it was we were hitchhiking, and it was early in the morning, and we got a ride with a guy, and he had a 29 Chevrolet, and the car had wood spokes, that 29 Chevrolet on the tires, and they were big tires. I think they were 29-inch, the tires were big, high ones. Anyway, he had a quart of beer, and this was about maybe 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we came over a hill, and a farmer was bringing his cows across the road, and it was a big Holstein cow, and he hit the cow and ran right over it. And he asked us where we were going. And we told him, well, just down the road, we're going down the road a ways. And we'd made up our mind when we saw, because we used to see chickens and stuff along the road. And so we said when we saw chickens, we were going to have him stop and let us off. So we came along a thing, and there was a stock fence there. A stock fence is a fence where they keep sheep and stuff in. It's got square holes. It's not like a barbed wire fence. So we had him let us off, and we chased down a chicken. Neither one of us had a jackknife, and we caught the chicken, and we looked around. There wasn't a tree any place. It was just fields. we had the chicken, and we walked down the road, and we carried the chicken under our shirt, under our jacket part, and there was a old farm that had been torn down, and we saw some lumber and stuff sticking out, and there was a kind of a hole, like maybe where the house was or something. There was a little basement or something. It was a dugout hole, and we went up there, and we had picked up matches at one of the stores when we were down in Kentucky, and we built a fire, and we burnt the feathers off, pulled the big feathers off, and we cut the chicken as much as we could and cleaned it out. No water, no nothing. We stuck it right in the fire, burn it black, and we'd eat it. We'd take it, and the blood would come out of it. It would be black on the outside, and it wasn't done on the inside at all. And he was pretty squeamish, and he was scared to eat it. I was a little more. So that was a highlight of the thing. We talked about that the rest of our lives when he's passed away quite a few years ago now. But whenever we met, we used to talk about that, the chicken fire. That was quite a story. Good Lord.
So how long were you gone before you actually made it back to Iron Mountain? Like how long was the trip? When you guys ran away
we were
together?
gone. We were gone about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
Yeah.
And how did your parents react when you guys got back?
When I got home, I came up on the hill and I whistled, and it was early in the morning, and my dad heard the whistle, and he said, "Freed, that's Gene."